G'day guys, it's Josh here from CyclonesOZ, and this is your detailed Australia-wide weather forecast update for Saturday the 13th of June 2026. We've got a pretty stormy picture, all things considered, particularly for southeastern Australia and then for southwestern Australia. We've also got a lot of rainfall that's expected to develop towards the end of June, so whilst the picture remains dry for many, especially in the north right now, a reversal towards a very wet pattern is likely to unfold as tropical moisture seeps in around the end of the month. We're going to talk about that at the end of this forecast update, but first, if you are brand new to my channel, please do consider subscribing. Let's get stuck straight into the details right now with the elephant in the Southern Ocean. This is it right here. A very large and quite frankly powerful extratropical system has slid down into the Great Australian Bight and in the past 24 hours undergone a period of bomb cyclogenesis. Now this isn't very relevant for Australia right now, but it is producing a band of moderate rainfall here for our southeastern and southern coastline. You can see that rainfall beginning to draw into South Australia and then through Victoria and Tasmania over the last couple of hours. We're not expecting anything in the way of crazy severe rainfall accumulations today, but a wide swathe of falls between 10 to 30 millimetres with isolated totals to 50 millimetres not off the cards through regions in South Australia, Victoria, as well as the western coast of Tassie. Put it simply, it is a wet start to this weekend for the southeast, and we're expecting that wet weather to continue at least to some degree into tomorrow morning. If we have a look at the forecast picture right now with this low pressure system, you can see it is far enough to the south as to where it's not that much of a concern, but it is expected to strengthen and grow stronger throughout the course of today, and the rainfall is expected to increase, particularly for Tasmania as we move into the afternoon hours. We will see that moderate rainfall as well extending through Victoria, particularly through the central and western regions of the state. We're also going to see a lot of rainfall through southeastern South Australia, including around the Adelaide metro area, and then later this afternoon and into this evening, a belt of rainfall expected across southern portions of New South Wales, particularly into the southwestern vicinities of the state. We are expecting rainfall to slowly ease out of southeastern Australia tomorrow. It'll first clear around the South Australian coastline, then into the Victorian coastline very early tomorrow morning, clearing early tomorrow morning as well for most of Tasmania, and then beginning to ease off out of Victoria and into New South Wales later tomorrow morning. And you can see whilst patchy shower and rainfall is expected to continue through New South Wales tomorrow afternoon and evening, the coverage becomes a lot less widespread and a lot lighter for most of New South Wales. We're expecting the weather to, generally speaking, clear up and fine up tomorrow. Then high pressure replaces this system here, and as we've been talking about for the last couple of days, a brief hiatus from rainy and cloudy and glum weather is expected to emerge across southeastern Australia. We're going to see that high pressure remain the dominant force until at least Monday afternoon and Monday evening, but this system here, whilst it is, quite strong, even 1,033 hectopascals for a high is relatively strong, particularly for this time of the year, it remains far enough offshore as to where it's not going to be the dominant force for very long. And by Monday afternoon and evening, we're beginning to see a low pressure system develop out here into the Great Australian Bight. That's going to return the showery and miserable weather, which is going to be quite stormy in nature for the South Australian coastline, as well as for Western Australia. I'll touch on Western Australia in just a second. You can always skip to the timestamps in the description, because that's going to be a whole different ballgame with a different weather system impacting those areas. But for the Great Australian Bight, we are expecting an elongated area of low pressure to develop down here offshore from SA, and that's going to produce a very stormy and quite turbulent weather picture from about Monday afternoon onwards. The conditions are going to get progressively wetter throughout the course of the day, and you can see here as we move in towards early Tuesday, this elongated area of low pressure is expected to extend into the Bass Strait, and we're going to see areas of rainfall developing through New South Wales and Tasmania. Now, whilst this is a winter-based system, this is low pressure with a couple of cold fronts associated with it, I want you to kind of temper your expectations for cold weather for the time being. I did say that we're going to be seeing a significant cold blast associated with this weather system. That's likely to come later into the week. Initially speaking, if we draw the line of low pressure being through here, you can see the low down here just south of Victoria and the other low over here around the South Australia WA border. This is where our elongated area of low pressure is going to be situated. Anywhere to the south of it is going to have those southerly winds, so winds coming up from the south. They're going to be quite cold in nature, and anywhere to the north is going to have those northerly winds, which are going to be drawing in drier and warmer conditions from Australia's desert regions. So anywhere north of this low pressure system or frontal zone is actually going to be quite warm, particularly through the early portions of next week. So we're looking at above average temperatures here extending through New South Wales and Victoria with a little bit of rainfall associated with them. Quite pleasant weather if you're between showers, let's be real. The winds are going to be quite calm. It's going to be a little bit wet here and there, but it is going to be nice and warm. Not typical winter stuff here across southeastern Australia. So whilst this is a winter-based system, it's not a typical one in the sense that we're going to be seeing all of that cold air moving through. It's a little bit more on the unusual side of things. We might even see a rare warm front to develop with this weather system here. Continuing to play this forecast modelling forward, you can see the low properly develops through Wednesday and Thursday, this is when the severe weather risk is going to arise, and strong to potentially damaging wind gusts are likely to extend across most of the South Australian coastline west of about Adelaide, with some large waves and powerful seas expected to emerge around the Great Australian Bight as well. There is the risk of heavy rainfall at times, particularly if localised convergence does develop, but this is a little bit of an arbitrary risk as we move out into next week. It's going to be quite hit or miss, and very much contingent on whether or not convergence does develop, which is a bit hard to ascertain at this range. We'll likely see some rainfall here moving up into portions of Central Australia. This becomes important at the end of the forecast update, because I know I said Queensland is moving into a dry phase, but that's only looking likely it's going to last for a week. We might be looking at yet another very large and prolonged significant rainfall event here across portions of Queensland as we head into the dying days of June. Now, towards the end of the week, this low-pressure system sort of falls apart, but it remains strong enough to produce widespread wintry weather conditions, and this is when the cold air is expected to move through. You can see Friday and into Saturday, a typical low-pressure system slides into the southeast. It delivers rainfall, it delivers showers, it delivers strong wind gusts, and most importantly, it delivers cooler temperatures with the potential for snow in the Victorian and New South Wales high country. Accumulations do look to be a little bit more on the minimal side at this point in time, 10 centimetres tops, but it will be a nice top-up for some of the ski resorts, particularly in the higher elevations. I think you'll be hard pressed to get snow on mainland Australia below an elevation of about 1,600 metres here from this event, just from what I'm seeing right now on these forecast models. Now, a couple of observations that I'd just like to note. Now, when compared to yesterday, the low pressure system is a little bit further towards the north. It's quite close to the coastline here. Any more jogging to the north here is, in a similar vein to how tropical cyclones develop, going to hurt this system's potential at becoming a strong or significant severe weather threat. Right now, it's 50-50. It's hugging the coastline right now, and it kind of tracks off on this path here. That's fine. It just needs to be over water. But if it moves a little bit further towards the north and tracks over South Australia into Victoria, it's going to be a lot more on the warmer side of things, which means the snowfall chances get completely eradicated. The damaging to locally destructive wind chances get very much, tapered down, particularly for areas inland, and rainfall will likely be reduced as well. This is a trend. When compared to yesterday, the low was down here. Now it's here. We might see it in tomorrow morning's forecast update move up towards the north. So this remains a system that we need to watch very closely. Still a quite uncertain forecast picture in regards to this weather system down here. Another thing that I've noticed, and this is just compounding to that uncertainty, is the fact that it's now expected to move through the southeast Friday, Saturday and Sunday, as opposed to Wednesday, Thursday and Friday in yesterday's forecast update. When storms get pushed back or they become later on in the forecast period, that's a good sign of forecast model uncertainty, and that observation there alone makes me a little bit more kind of uncertain with this weather picture here. Bottom line, it is looking to be quite stormy as we head into about the 20th of June here across southeastern Australia, but who's going to see the heaviest rainfall, if there's going to be snow or severe weather associated with it? A big question mark right now, and certainly a picture that we're going to have to keep looking at in the next couple of days. Southwestern Australia, before I get up and towards Queensland, we do have a strong and dominant area of high pressure there this morning. It's gotten quite cold across the southwest this morning, actually. A lot of places down into the wheat belt have sunk below zero. You can see down here at Newdigate, -1 degrees. It also got down to about -1 here at Wandering, warming up a little bit now as the sun slowly breaks above the horizon, but definitely a cold start here under the influence of that high pressure system. We are expecting a separate cold front to begin approaching the southwestern land division later tonight into early tomorrow morning. This is going to have something to do with the weather system that we just talked about for southeastern Australia, but this one here a little bit on the weaker side. It'll begin brushing up against the southwestern capes here through Sunday morning, tomorrow morning, but there's a few things that you need to pay attention to here. One, it's very slow moving, and two, it's in an unstable environment over very warm water. This system here is going to be a rainmaker, and it's likely to catch a few people off guard in terms of how much rainfall it is expected to bring. This one could be on the wetter side here for southwestern WA, and definitely as a system that could be quite drawn out through tomorrow. It could deliver some, flash flooding concerns to areas that have seen, recent flash flooding or significant rainfall accumulations, particularly out into the hills. So playing this forecast forward, you can see here arriving in the Perth metro area around lunchtime on Sunday with a few showers expected to come through ahead of it, but it doesn't properly clear off. It doesn't stop raining in the Perth metro area until very early on Monday morning. And we're still expecting a few showers to round the southwestern capes on the backside of the system. A high pressure will move in on the backside of this low pressure system, but it's going to be very slow to move in. And because it's going to be sandwiched down here here where my mug is, the high and the low over here in the Great Australian Bight. It's going to be, we've got this kind of area of isobar forcing or isobar crushing where this squash zone is. The isobars are tightly packed together across this corridor and they're not really moving. That means that the turbulent weather is expected to remain quasi-stationary or very slow moving. And as a result, we are expecting a widespread pool of showers and kind of wet, wintry weather to move through across southwestern Australia through Sunday, Monday, and into Tuesday next week. And because we are going to see this on the backside of that low pressure system, southerly is going to come through. It's going to be on the cooler side. It's going to be quite unpleasant weather, particularly for our southern coastlines. Although Perth, because these winds here are coming in from the southeast as opposed to the southwest, like you'd see in a typical winter storm, we are going to be looking at a more protected picture here for the southwestern coast, as well as the Perth metro area. And you can see just a lot of moisture associated with this weather system here. If I can find the humidity tab here, you can see a lot of moisture associated with it, particularly as you go up into the upper levels of the atmosphere. A pretty strong upper level trough is expected to move over the region. That's going to generate a lot of forcing or a lot of lifting here on Monday and Tuesday especially, and plenty of rainfall expected out here into portions of the southern wheat belt, the southeastern wheat belt, maybe even into the goldfields and Nullarbor regions as well. It could be quite wet out here, but that will be a picture that we talk about in a future forecast update. So expect rain, expect quite a lot of it, and then we are looking to enter into a bit more of a finer weather period for at least a couple of days. You can see here a lot of rainfall expected in the next kind of 3 or 4 days. You can see it slowly begins to ease off as we head in towards the dying days of the week. I would wager a good bet here that the south coast, especially around Esperance out to about Cape Arid or Israelite Bay, could see north of 150 millimeters of rainfall. There is going to be some really good rainfall out here and the potential for some flooding, so please do keep this in mind. We could be looking at some pretty significant falls out here. Frontline subscribers are going to get an email notification about this sometime today. I'll get around to that. There is expected to be a bit of a drier period as we head out in towards next weekend. You can see here high pressure expected to be the dominant force across most of WA, but then the end of June does look to be quite turbulent. We are expecting to swing back towards a negative southern annular mode, and that's going to allow some winter weather to return to southwestern WA. Again, the details are very murky right now as to what storm is going to come through, how strong said storm is going to be, if it's going to be severe, and how much rainfall is going to be delivered. But it just looks like at this point in time, from about the 23rd of June onwards, right out to maybe the 1st of July, a turbulent weather picture is expected to develop here across southwestern WA. This would be a very substantial winter storm here towards the end of June if this was to materialise. You can actually see here wind gusts in this storm here getting close to 130 k's an hour. Forecast models are quite very much favouring a very strong winter storm to kind of close out the month of June. But again, that's a matter for a future forecast update. There is no skill in predicting the weather 14 days out into the future. And just briefly now for Queensland, not only are we going to see continuous showers and rainfall up into far northern Queensland pretty much throughout the remainder of the month. We've seen some good falls up into far northern Queensland already. And as you can see, rainfall and thunderstorm activity is expected to continue pretty much throughout the remainder of the month. You can see rainfall accumulations up there expected to be, on the decent side of things. A few spots could get north of 200 millimeters here on top of the 100 that's already fallen, mind you. And then have a look at this. The forecast models favouring a lot of moisture sliding down through western Queensland, portions of the Northern Territory, and into just central Australia in general, down through the Channel Country, into southwestern Queensland, western New South Wales. Quite unusual for this time of the year, so let's have a look at what this all means here. I believe there to be merit to this as well. Now that it's been a consistent picture on the forecast models for the last couple of days, there is going to be some significant rainfall out here for this time of the year, of course. We're not talking about 400 millimeters, we're talking about 50 millimeters of rainfall, but still significant for this time of the year, generating a widespread belt of rainfall through central Australia sometime around the 20th of June at this point in time. Yeah, you can see that here, the last couple of days of next week out into next weekend, we are going to be looking at some decent rainfall accumulations out here in this portion of central Australia. A bit hard to ascertain exactly where and when the heaviest rainfall will be and exactly how much rainfall is to be expected, but you can see forecast models, especially the GFS, are very consistently expecting some significant falls out here. Now, there is, of course, that uncertainty. ECMWF has these falls out here in kind of this red box. The GFS has them out here and towards Queensland and New South Wales in this orange box. Similar in terms of intensity and precipitation coverage. You can see both boxes are about the same size and the colours are about the same, which means similar rainfall and similar coverage is expected, but a very different picture in terms of where the rainfall is expected to fall. Now, this will naturally iron itself out in the next couple of days. The ECMWF has had a great track record with these systems in the last couple of months, so if I was to wager money right now, it would be out into this portion of Queensland where the red box and circle are, but it is anyone's game at this point in time, and long-range ensemble modelling from the GFS has been consistently calling for eastern seaboard type rainfall, so this one here does become a bit of a wild card. It's a simple case of watch but don't act right now. This rainfall isn't significant enough to cause a widespread or prolonged flooding concern, but it is some good rainfall and certainly something that I'd be getting hopeful for. Maybe not if you're closer to the coastline, but further inland locations, certainly start expecting some decent rainfall out here. It looks like it is coming, whether it's 10 millimeters or 50 millimeters. I know you welcome it with open arms. And I just want to finish off this forecast update with a little bit of channel chat, a little bit of personal discussion. Well, not personal discussion, it's going to be half of a temper tantrum, but I've had an influx of comments over the last couple of days with, well, every single weather page around Australia is saying a completely different thing. We've got El Nino, we've got rainfall, we've got, storms here and there, storms everywhere occurring at this point in time. And I understand the confusion because everyone, including myself, is talking about different things around Australia right now. These updates on YouTube, they're probably the most simple and easy to follow updates on the YouTube side of things, but still we jump around, we talk about a lot of different things every single day, and it can be quite overwhelming. And if that's the case, then please don't worry. There is a difference between El Nino and general weather forecasting. I talk about El Nino quite a lot, but that's climate. Climate is always going to be long range, over the course of months, even years, whereas weather forecasts like we do on this channel, 7 to 10 days, 14 days if I'm feeling quite optimistic, or if there's nothing in the short range. We don't cover much ground here time-wise, we just cover a lot of ground with what systems going on. Also, remember that a lot of these pages, particularly on Facebook, are covering national weather. And I need you to remember that Australia is huge. And Australia's states alone are huge. Even Victoria is the size of European countries. Western Australia and Queensland are massive, they are. So when we're talking about Queensland weather, like I often do on Facebook, just because a lot of my audience is from Queensland, like yesterday we talked about a warm and dry pattern here across Western and Central Queensland. And then we talked about a wet pattern up here in far northern Queensland. That can be quite confusing, and I do understand that, but I try and make everything as simple as possible. So if you're feeling confused, it's completely understandable, particularly in today's current social media weather scene, which is booming. Just take a step back, focus on the pages that get it right for your location 9 out of 10 times, or the most accurate for your location most of the time, and focus on pages that specialize in your area. Now, for me, my winter months, always me talking about what I want to talk about. In tropical cyclone season, because I'm a severe weather forecaster, that's when we go ham. That's when we talk about one system, we focus in, we hone in. But during the winter months, I like to talk about, particularly on Facebook, what I want to talk about. So it does depend on what your flavor is, but yeah, make sure you're following the pages that get it right most of the time. But if there's nothing really coming for your location, like if you're not seeing those big capital headlines and whatnot, then you might as well just be best off sticking to the weather app on your phone, or the general forecast that you're getting online, or sticking to these updates here. You don't really need to be getting all of that information from Facebook unless a really significant severe weather event is occurring. And another thing is, a lot of pages are now trying their luck with the 14-day forecasts. It is becoming a little bit more of a viable option, particularly in recent years with general weather forecast modeling, improvements in technology and accuracy. I mean, the GFS and the ECMWF both have the AI variants now, which have proven to be extremely accurate, both for severe weather and tropical cyclone forecasting, as well as for general weather and rainfall forecasting. The ECMWF AI is a great forecast model to use. But let's be real here, I'm going to level with you guys. At least for the next year or so, there is absolutely no skill in predicting weather patterns, not climate patterns, but weather patterns, more than about 10 days out into the future, because they chop and they change. And we see that time and time again when we're trying to look at systems here on this channel. But yeah, there's lots of talk right now about the 1st of July, rather. I don't know what's going on here, about the 1st of July, rather, being very wet across the eastern seaboard. Yes, there is a signal right now on the forecast models. You can see that here quite clearly on the ECMWF. You can see that rainfall beginning to develop for New South Wales, as well as for the GFS, massive rain signal out here. But there is no skill in going that far out. So anybody that's doing that, you have to take their forecast with a very hefty pinch of salt. And remember that, pages like myself, where, we really focus on giving the best information out to everybody. We want everybody to be informed and, calm and stable and steady. We're not going to go 14 days out into the future. I'm going to keep things within the shorter range. And unless there is a ridiculously strong signal or a massive life-threatening situation, we're not going to be looking more than 10 days out into the future, particularly in the general weather updates over on Facebook. So please do keep that in mind. The state of the Australian forecasting scene has exploded in the past 12 months, and I'm very fortunate to be a part of it. But there is a lot of, riff-raff on there. There's a lot of people that don't really know what they're talking about and are using the general public, the innocent public, as a boat to make clicks and to generate revenue. So We don't want to see that. We need to make sure that the public is as informed as possible. But that's going to do it for me today. I do hope you've enjoyed this forecast update, plus my insipid rambling at the end of it. If you have, then please do consider leaving a like and also subscribe to the channel. It really does help, and I really do appreciate it. Bit of a long-winded one this morning. Have a great rest of your Saturday, and I'll catch you on the next storm. Goodbye.